I'm Eleni Kasparis. I'm a national account manager here at caterer.com, looking after recruitment consultancies. And this afternoon, I'm catching up with Vinny, who's the managing director for the Generate Group. Hi, Vinny.
Hi.
Today we're talking all things recruitment. We're talking about how to restart a startup when we're coming out of the coronavirus. And also kind of the need to potentially diversify and look at other sectors. So, Vinny, over to you. Do you want to just give a bit of an introduction into who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so hi, as Ellie said, my name is Vinny, and I'm the managing director of the Generate Group. We are a new startup. We started up about 6 months ago, and we describe ourselves as a sort of multidiscipline recruitment consultancy. Our main core business, though, is hospitality, but we do have another channel that we are growing and exploring, sort of locally based general recruitment in the Hertfordshire area.
Fantastic.
Um,
Okay. So is now a good opportunity for you to look at diversifying out then potentially?
Absolutely. We're not sure when hospitality recruitment will return. It could take up to, I think, a year for it to become that sort of new normal of recruitment. Obviously, there will be some elements of recruitment in hospitality, but it'd be very, very sort of specific, and I think it'll be much more niche, not just with the roles, but I think just with people who you work with. So, which actually, could work well for us in that respect, because we want to work with specific clients. We want to work with people that we've known over the last sort of 12, 15 years. So that will work in our benefit. But I believe, the sort of large scale, everybody fighting over jobs, all that type of stuff, I think is going to dissipate. So it's a great opportunity, I think, for recruitment companies and including ourselves to diversify their portfolio. Not straying too far away from what they know, what they like, but I think there's an opportunity to move into that more generic field recruitment where the skills of a hospitality recruiter can still be used within a generic support office function roles. What gives us an edge above other sort of recruiters who general recruitment? Well, I think from your experiences talking to recruiters, we go into serious depth when we're speaking to our candidates, and we go into serious depth when we talk to our clients. So I think that could benefit other companies, other industries. So it's not just about a CV, it's more about the depth of that person and their knowledge and actually going into their background as we do in hospitality.
Sure. Yeah. So how have you been doing that then? What sort of things have you been using or doing to try and break into other sectors?
Yeah, so we've obviously gone down the well-trodden route now of using social media to sort of connect with various industries. Obviously, we're keeping our geography quite tight, so keeping it within Hertfordshire and Bedfordshire, which is where we're based. So that was our first sort of route in. We did a lot of sort of local campaigning, especially in our sort of local, I'd call it our neighbourhood, but there's a lot of young professionals where we live. So we've joined up to some local business groups as well. Recently, we are in talks to joining up with the Business Network initiative, which is
Okay.
basically local chapters around the UK that support businesses. So you get together and you discuss your business and you basically share ideas, share leads, and the idea is that it's all reciprocal. Everything comes back to you when you're sort of giving out. The other
Mhm.
avenue, which I've started exploring, and it's something that I've toyed the idea with even when I was working for another company, was the idea of using lead generators. So it's always been a taboo kind of topic, should we say, when it comes to recruiters, of why would you use somebody to do your business development? That's your job.
Mhm.
Yes, absolutely. And I think for 12 years I did that, and I've gained myself a good platform within hospitality. I don't need somebody to help me in hospitality per se, but to break into a new industry, to work, in what we want to do. I think it's a great idea to use a specialist who knows how to open those doors for you and get you those meetings,
Sure.
and represent your business in the right way. In the same way you'd use an e-marketeer, in the same way that you use a marketing company or a branding agency, you use a lead generator, whether it's telemarketing or whether it's e-marketing, they can help put you on a different platform.
Mhm.
And the second part is obviously time. Me and Emma, my business partner, we have to keep revenue going, and obviously hospitality has been a big part of that as we've nurtured the business through the last 6 months has been making sure that we build enough clientele over the last 6 months to keep revenue going. This now, obviously, with what's happened now and the stop in sort of the hospitality industry, it's a great opportunity for us to explore not just our own capabilities of breaking into a new sector, but using others who can help us do it. And that way, we can get these short-term wins.
An interesting point, though. Do you think, happy Star Wars Day, Vinny?
Happy Star Wars Day to you.
Do you think that given the situation that we're in, so hospitality candidates, potentially may have started work in other sectors to help support themselves and their family through this crisis. So do you think, just the same that you're looking to diversify, that potentially some talent from our industry may also look at diversifying into other sectors?
100%. I think there's a real opportunity for people, who have TP'd over to various businesses in whatever level of the role that you've moved into. And we've seen it happen in hospitality. We've seen people move from electronic retail into the hospitality industry at obviously senior levels. So you can easily cross-pollinate those skills. It's from my perception and from my sort of knowledge, it's more about understanding that business and what benefits you can add to a different sector. I think it's in everyone's capabilities to diversify their portfolio in their CVs. Obviously, you don't want to stray, like I said, don't want to stray too far away from what you know. You want to stay within a customer serving business. You want to stay within a business where it's very people focused. That's very similar to customer service in hospitality. The core skills that you inherit in working those industries, you can definitely move across into different businesses, whether it's, frontline working in a sort of, in an office, or whether it's in a shop or whatever it is. You can, those specific skill sets you picked up working in bars, restaurants, hotels can definitely be moved across.
Yeah. But then on the other hand, potentially the direct employers would be open to look at people from outside in our industry now, because those skills are so transferable, and there are going to be, I can't remember a time where it's been so many candidates and the jobs aren't there. It's always been the other way around. So hospitality's always been about culture fit, and are they the right culture? So do you think that actually some of your hospitality clients may be open to look at candidates outside our sector?
Yeah, I think they need to. I think they need to. I think you're right. I think, the market is now flooded with lots and lots of people looking for their next job, and I think what COVID-19 has definitely shown us is that I don't think that the world will change, certainly when it comes to employing. You won't be able to cherry pick anymore. I think what we've come to realize is that it's more about the person, the skill set they can offer you, rather than it just being now about have you worked specifically for this industry. I think what we've suddenly learned, and maybe empathically as well, actually, is that you are so much more open to accepting people from various walks and backgrounds. And that doesn't just mean discipline, Lenny. This is also about age. This is also about, a kind of, what sort of demographic you fit into. I think we've opened up a doorway now whereby there's going to be so much more acceptance. What background, religion, whatever it is, you can now, people be more open to looking at various employers or employees.
Yeah, definitely. I hope so, because this is something that we've been looking at and campaigning for and doing various projects on before COVID. So hopefully this, I think, empathy to other people and to other industries now is definitely a positive that's come out of this crisis. So, but what have you been doing to keep yourself engaged in hospitality throughout all of this? Because it is very easy to kind of shut your doors and wait for it to all go away. So what sort of things have you been doing?
Well, I tell you what, for 2 days, I pretty much did shut myself in for a bit. I think there was a moment of sort of, start digging the bunker and get ready for the apocalypse in a certain respect. Look, I think for the first few days, I think everyone kind of hit the panic button. We're scrabbling around trying to see if any clients were recruited, because I think no one knew what was going on. Yeah. So where a lot of the jobs that I was working on were certainly closed, and that happened within 24 hours. There was a moment of scrabbling around and saying, who is recruiting out there? What's going on? Obviously, that sort of emotion dissipated very quickly. And then we realized, that Friday, things were closing down. And then, yes, recruitment had stopped. So there was that sort of emotion went quickly. And what really, rather than sort of asking people, well, when we come back, let's work together, all that type of sentiment. I think that's probably the wrong sentiment to use at the moment. I don't think it's the right time to be pitching for jobs. You're more than welcome, I think, to pitch your brand, pitch your business, but doing it in the right way, doing it with an ethical conscience. I think you need to offer support, and it might just be a phone call. It just might be a bit of an update, but not specifically talking about sales and recruitment. I don't think that's the right thing to do at this time anyway. Maybe after we learn a little bit more about the future of this country and what's going to happen, okay, yeah, start putting the flagpoles out there. But at this time, I think it's more about respecting your clients' wishes. I'm sure they are the HR teams that we speak to. They're probably dealing with a lot more than dealing with recruitment or anything else, or building a business. I think at the moment it's all about redundancies, about cost savings, etc. So the conversation is more about empathy initially with your close contacts. The other part is just supporting the industry that we love and we know and we've worked in. So whether it's the National Time Out campaign that the Hospitality Union and Jonathan Downey are sort of championing to the hill, absolutely amazing. We've got to be part of that message, even though from the sidelines we've got to be a part of. We can't, because we don't own restaurants and bars and hotels. We can certainly share the message with our network and our contacts that we got on our social media platforms. It's also about sharing good news and good stories that are out there as well. What's going out there in the world. Everything that I think just needs to be steering away from our core job, should we say, which is recruitment. It sounds a bit strange, doesn't it? Whereby we should, on a normal average day, we'll be shouting about jobs and working with these guys and doing everything like that. At the moment, we want to keep that quite quiet and just talk about the good news that is everything else. Absolutely, and another sort of thing, which is probably a little bit away from the hospitality directly, but it's connecting with other people who are in our business, in our recruitment business. So, I'm part of various groups whereby we talk and we converse. And there's one group that's been running for the last 6-7 months. We've just connected together. And I think without that support group, a lot of us probably would be lost in respect. Sure. There's another group as well where we're, just suddenly talking to each other, not as competitors, but really just connecting with each other as business owners, people who work for other businesses, and just really connecting. I had a moment when I felt lost as to my day was just running away from me and I didn't know what to do. And I put it out there on the messages and everyone felt the same. Mm-hmm. And I think that was really important just from a mental capacity point of view, but just knowing that people, I'm not saying on the same boat as you, we're all in the same situation, but we're all in different boats. Yeah. But just having that ability to sort of go, oh my God, guys, I don't know what I'm doing my day all day. Everyone's like, yeah, me too. Suddenly, that sort of feeling of anguish dissipates. So There's a part of that where we're supporting each other, which is really, really important.
So basically, Vinny has just carried on talking. That's what you've been doing over the last 7 weeks.
Yep. Standing on my soapbox once again.
And lastly, I do think that I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts, because you're a new business, and no matter whether you're a new business within recruitment, which is obviously your field, but there's many restaurants that have just opened up. There's many people that have just started investing into a business, and also candidates. There's a lot of candidates that have just joined a new company and a new career, and then this has happened. So what's your experience or your advice or what you're doing in regards to being such a junior company in the grand scheme of hospitality?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, we're taking every day as it comes. We can't predict the future at the moment. We know no one ever saw this coming. So we're taking each day as it comes. We can't plan too far ahead until we know more. And I think that's quite important to sort of realize is stay within the present. Don't look at the past. Don't look at the future, or not too far in the future, but stay in the present. That's so important, because if you look too far ahead, it's going to twist you up, and it could depress you in certain ways. Whereas if you stay close to where you are in what you're doing, whether you're waiting for you're in your furlough and you're waiting for that to end and you can start your job again, or potentially you could be looking for a new career, or you've joined a new company, and you don't know the future of that company. There is no point worrying about it at the moment. There is I don't think that can happen. And I think yes, of course, it's very scary, especially on my side of things, where I've set up a new business. I left a very successful company to go do my own thing. And yeah, sod's law that the worst thing can happen, a global pandemic happens, month 5 into my new business.
Yeah.
But you know what? There's a great learning from it. There's a great learning from this. And I think if I was to see a positive from what I'm doing is I'm going to get a second chance of restarting my startup, so to speak. It's a great opportunity for me now to look at the mistakes I made in the last 4 or 5 months, and believe me, I made quite a few. I think it's given me an opportunity now to review that and look at strategies, and not just recruitment, because the day-to-day will take care of itself, but actually looking at, well, what can I do to support the industry, support my business, but other avenues that I can take now in branding, should we say, first of all. So I think the message I think I want to give out there is not just be in the present, but be creative. Whether you're a job searcher or whether you're a new business, just think of different ideas, and it will help you mentally, I think, where you're conjuring these ideas. Whether they work or not, doesn't matter. It's more about just having those ideas ready to go, because, as a new startup, I've learned a hell of a lot in the last 6 months. And now I'm hopefully going to take those learnings and effectively not redo them, but replant them in a different way.
Yeah, sure. That's brilliant. It's a great bit of advice, because I do think, it must be quite a scary time for a lot of people that have just started something new. I mean, it's a scary time for everybody, and everyone's got different things they're going through, but it's great to see that you're using it as an opportunity to restart your startup, as you say, which is fantastic. So thank you so much for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure, as always, catching up. I know you and I can talk for hours and hours and hours about things, so we'll have to do it over a drink as soon as we're allowed to again.
Yeah, lovely. Look forward to that.
Thank you so much for your time. Take care of yourself, and we will catch up soon.